Greetings and welcome to yet another Mod of the Month video. This time around we're looking at the best mods of August 2016, and yes, we're still playing perpetual catch-up over here. We will hopefully catch up eventually. It may take a few weeks, but you know, we'll get to it. Anyways, I'm your host Markel Guy, and today we're looking at the top mods released in August. Overall, some 28 mods were released by the community in August, but we're only going to be looking at the top 3 of them today, including 2 graphics replaces. But before we get to all that, real quick, you'll find a new online poll down in our video description below, where you can vote for the best Morrowind mods in September 2016, and of course, you can also find download links for all the mods shown here down there as well. But anyway, let's go ahead and kick things off with our mod of the month for August 2016, which this time around is Insanity's Dual Weapons of Morrowind for Morrowind by InsanitySorrow, Flash 113, and Star Wars Gal 9875. And technically speaking, the original version of this mod was not released in August, since the original version of this mod is actually a weapons mod for Oblivion, made by InsanitySorrow to add a ton of Morrowind-themed weapons to the lands of Cyrodiil, such as, you know, quite obviously Dwemer weapons, as well as, you know, other classic Morrowind-style weapons like iron, Nordic, and glass. But with this version, Star Wars Gal 9875 has converted these Oblivion models back to Morrowind to be used as replaces for the Dwemer weapons of Morrowind, and Flash 313 has also made an additional resource including replaces for Dwemer halberds and spears, since, you know, Oblivion doesn't actually, you know, have that particular weapon technology yet. You know, those sharpened pokey sticks are a very advanced form of weaponry after all. We can't expect those Imperials in the capital province of the Empire to actually be able to make spears like us, you know, far more technologically advanced Dark Elves out here in the backwoods of Morrowind. But anyway, I'm just poking fun, of course. And to get things back on track with the showcase here, you can see a ton of these dual weapons laid out on the table here in a random manner, and they are just, you know, beautifully detailed with, you know, some wonderful engravings and reflections, and you can actually see some Dwemer script carved into the shafts of the spear and halberd here, which is, you know, quite nice. And given the wonderful quality on display here, even if these, you know, were originally meant for Oblivion, these are probably, you know, the best Dwemer weapons replaces available for Morrowind, and it's, you know, little wonder why these came out on top of our online poll. And anyway, moving on, we have our second choice for mod of the month, Underwater, a plugin for Morrowind by JMK. And this mod starts out in Caldera with a necromancer attack right in the middle of town, which is, you know, quite surprising, but as you'll find out from the local town guards, necromancers have apparently just, you know, started popping up all over Vvardenfell and are aggressively attacking the populace. And anyway, this will eventually take you to an underwater facility off the coast of Balfell, which is the secret base of operations for a group dedicated to, I believe it's Meridia. And they have a group of underwater domes down here where they operate in secret, though they're not much to look at on the exterior. And like most of JMK's mods, this one has a main quest involving necromancers, but it also has, you know, several side quests that you can do for the members of this underwater base, involving everything from, you know, killing particular targets or collecting items or, you know, something of that nature. And there's probably several hours worth of content in here. I'm honestly a little surprised this actually came in second place in our online poll, you know, since JMK mods are only ever released on his personal website or DeviantArt, which are not exactly, you know, the most likely places that you go to find Morrowind mods. And they often get a bit overlooked as a result, which is usually in spite of their, you know, usual pretty good quality and quest content. So it's nice to see this one getting a bit more exposure here. But anyway, part of the main quest involves, you know, raiding necromancer dungeons like this tomb here, and killing necromancers to gather quest items such as blood bones that can be used to unlock additional content and progress along the main quest. And you see these necromancers have erected bone columns all over Vvardenfell, and in order to destroy them, you have to use some of these blood bones that you've gathered by, you know, killing necromancers everywhere. And this will also teleport you to the Necromancer's Stronghold, a large dungeon that you gradually unlock and clear out over time. And because this is a quest mod, we're only going to be looking at a very small sliver of what everything this mod does, and, you know, to avoid spoilers and all that. And given the massive amount of content here, though, there's, you know, plenty of good reasons why this is our second choice for the mod of the month for August of 2016. Now, our last mod for today, and our third pick for mod of the month, is Unique Jewelry by Flash 3113. And this is a fairly simple, but also, you know, fairly large graphics mod that adds unique models, textures, and icons to a lot of the named various enchanted items that you can find in Morrowind. Specifically, you know, like rings and amulets and things like that. And you can see a lot of the new icons here, and you know, they're pretty nice looking and detailed. And here you can see a bunch of the new models for these amulets and rings, though this is by no means a comprehensive look at all the items included in this mod. And this mod is actually meant to complement Unique Finery, which missed a few items in Vanilla Morrowind, and looking at this mod in the editor, there's about 120 items covered by this new mod. A lot of these are items that you can find in leveled lists, like Dire Viper Rings, or an Amulet of Rest, or a Witch's Charm, or so on and so forth. And you can usually tell their purpose, at least to some extent, by their models. Like an amulet with a mini potion on it might be an Amulet of Health or some other restorative enchantment on it, while a ring with a lot of spikes might be a Ring of Ice Grip, and so on and so forth. It's really a nice graphical replacer mod that covers a ton of objects that have gone overlooked in other similar mods, and it's definitely worth checking out. And anyway, that wraps up this episode of the Morrowind Mod of the Month series. Do tune in about a week and a half, I'd say, for the next episode. Of course, we have our end of the year videos coming up before that, including a top 10 Morrowind mods video, and of course our end of the year trailer, which is going to be coming out sometime in the next week. So you have that to look forward to, and anyway, don't forget to vote for the best mods of September, and I'll see you all next time with our next patch of mods.